Coding is the process of writing instructions that a computer can execute to perform a specific task. Coding is a skill that can be learned, and it requires practice and patience. In this article, we will provide an overview of coding in 750 words or less. 1.
Choose a programming language.
Before you start coding, you need to choose a programming language. There are many programming languages to choose from, including Python, Java, C++, JavaScript, and more. Each programming language has its own syntax and rules, so it's important to choose one that you feel comfortable with. 1.
Set up your development environment.
Once you have chosen a programming language, you need to set up your development environment. This includes installing a text editor or integrated development environment, IDE, and any necessary libraries or tools. Many programming languages have free and open source tools available that you can use. 1.
Learn the basics of the programming language.
Before you can start coding, you need to learn the basics of the programming language. This includes understanding the syntax, data types, variables, operators, control structures, and functions. There are many online tutorials and courses available that can help you learn the basics of a programming language. 1.
Write your first program.
Once you have learned the basics of the programming language, it's time to write your first program. Start with a simple program that prints, "Hello, world," to the screen. This program will help you get familiar with the programming language and its syntax. 1.
Practice coding.
To become proficient at coding, you need to practice regularly. Start by coding simple programs and gradually increase the complexity of your programs. You can also participate in online coding challenges or contribute to open-source projects to improve your coding skills. 1.
Debug your code.
Debugging is the process of finding and fixing errors in your code. It's important to test your code thoroughly and use debugging tools to identify any errors. Most programming languages have built-in debugging tools, and there are also third-party debugging tools available. 1.
Use version control.
Version control is the process of managing changes to your code over time. It allows you to track changes, collaborate with other developers, and revert to previous versions of your code if necessary. Git is a popular version control system that is used by many developers. 1.
Document your code.
Documentation is important for maintaining and sharing your code with others. It's important to write clear comments and documentation that explain what your code does and how it works. This will make it easier for other developers to understand and use your code. 1.
Test your code.
Testing is the process of verifying that your code works as intended. It's important to test your code thoroughly before releasing it to ensure that it works correctly and is free of bugs. There are many testing frameworks and tools available for different programming languages. 1.
Keep learning.
Coding is a constantly evolving field, and it's important to keep learning and improving your skills. Attend coding conferences, read coding blogs and books, and take online courses to stay up to date with the latest coding trends and techniques. In conclusion, coding is an important skill that can be learned by anyone. Choose a programming language, set up your development environment, learn the basics, write your first program, practice coding, debug your code, use version control, document your code, test your code, and keep learning. With time and practice, you can become proficient at coding and develop your own applications and software.